Grand Rising Loves. This is the altar spread for the collective today. So the sacred geometry that showed up is the flower of life, but it's the rainbow flower of life, which talks about creativity. It's what we create from our soul and give outwardly. So this is our offering. Our creations are offerings of self. And it also lets people in. So if you have an artistic outlet, whether it be art, writing, singing, dancing, what is your artistic outlet? And when you are fully creating from that space, you are more yourself than in any other environment. And so if you feel that you've lost that spark, try to access that place when you were a child. What was your outlet of choice? What was your creation of choice? And for some people, maybe it's interior design. That's very creative. But just go into that space and think, where is my creative outlet? Because our creativity comes from the sacral space in our energetic body, which is beneath the navel and spans hip to hip. This is the energetic space that houses knowledge of true self. But this is also the place where we store our most horrific trauma. And so if you're feeling disconnected from creativity, it could very much be related to trauma that you endured. And so working through reawakening your creative juices can help actually heal those traumas. And so just feel into that. What is your offering? How are you going to let people into your soul? What are the windows of your soul through works of art? So I love that came up, because this is all about intent too. So a lot of times, like social media posts, I mean, you can be kind of creative in that. I'm a poet, so a lot of times those are my deepest offerings of soul creations, are my poetry. And some people create memes, like is humor your creative outlet? And so just find that space where you are creating. Find that space. And then offer that so that you can have the rallying of souls, the circling of souls, as I like to call, because that's how you align, and that's how like finds like. And don't repress those creative gifts, because it is very healing. Now, many paths showed up, but it showed up in the reverse. So many paths talks about how they all lead to the same goal. We're all trying to reach transcendence, right? We're all trying to get to the end result, the goal of this human experience, right? And showing up in the reverse says, you know what? You risk now getting lost in your own backyard. So this talks about complacency. And I love that this came up because I had just posted about this. I shared it in my story, talking about when it becomes comfortable, you can actually lose yourself in being comfortable. And no one grows through that comfortability. But complacency kills the spirit. So when you get into a space where you're like, okay, I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to create waves. I'm just going to do this. It doesn't feel completely amazing, but it's easy. And you will actually kill your spirit, and you are not aligned in that. There has to be a constant spark and drive. And I'm not talking about you got to work drive. I'm talking about I am inspired drive. I'm inspired to create. I'm inspired to share. I am inspired to commune. And that is alignment. So it's not loneliness, it's longingness. That comes from a place of creativity, and that also comes from a place of immense self-worth. When you have really arrived, you want to share because that inspires others. And so showing up in the reverse, it's saying, check yourself. Have you become complacent? Are you completely ignoring that you're a creative being? So feel into that and see how that feels to you. Now, Fluorite, I love when new cards show up. I get all excited. So discipline, and I just made a post about this the other day too, walking the talk. Discipline is, I am aligned with my highest vision and I act with integrity. And so the first line actually says, discipline means living the life you espouse, better known as walking your talk. Dun, dun, dun. This is Fluorite. Don't get jealous. This is a beautiful baby. And I love these allies. Why do crystals work? I'll talk about this again, because they are not rocks. They're actually living things. So they give off a frequency, just like every living thing. Plants, people, animals, crystals. And when that frequency is emitted, our human body, the vessel that we chose to have this human experience in, is mostly water. And our bones are actually crystalline structures if you did a cross section. And so they readily accept vibration and want to mimic it. And so that's why crystals work. That's why crystals are so healing, because our body wants to mimic that frequency. And every crystal has a very unique personality. And if they were left alone in the environment in which they were harvested, they would continue to grow forever. And I do have an amethyst that I keep next to my bed, and I've had it next to my bed for more than a decade. And it is actually, I've noticed that some of the points actually have grown. And I had one man who was very skeptical. He actually works with crystals. He's like, that's a literal impossibility. And I said, no. And I said, I'm going to find the original picture of when I bought it, because I actually took a picture because there was a rainbow aura above it that actually showed up on picture. And I said, and I'll show it to you now. And you could see a marked difference. So I love when I can actually help people move past being skeptical about the magic of the human experience. A spirit having a human experience. People forget that. And so in Tikana, the child of light showed up again. And so remember, this talks about, and this is the one that showed up for me because people were asking what my cards were, but now it showed up for the collective. So high five, y'all. This talks about being a child of light, that we cast a light that does not cast a shadow. But it also talks about discernment, that there are plenty of people who claim to be that, who claim to be light, but it is a light with no substance. So it doesn't shine as brightly. So it would be more like a light bulb compared to the sun. But this talks about feeling that discernment, knowing what is spiritual substance and what is not. And so that gift of discernment has everything to do with intent, with creation, with not getting complacent and walking your talk. So discernment is huge in the spiritual path, and intent is huge in the spiritual path. So are you in your highest integrity? Are you creating with your highest integrity? What is your intent? And can other people discern that? And are you following those who have no substance because maybe you're getting lost in your own backyard? And because you're comfortable there, you just want to follow other people that are comfortable there. instead of following those that maybe press on those parts of you that need to be healed. Just saying. That's it. So that's the reading for today. Thank you for listening. I appreciate this commune every morning. Let's take a deep collective breath together. Release with an audible sigh. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Come on, baby.